It's always time to pet the cat. This is the goofiest friggin' cat. This is Buzz. And she loves her belly rubs. And she's a nut. This is my heat. Heatrola estate. Built in like 1940, 1945. Something like that. It's a coal stove. Right now I'm burning wood because you can. Leave some ashes down on the grates, kind of protects them. Cat's gonna start horking. Coal's getting a little rough to buy, but you know, I'm in the woods. I can go out, get firewood any old time. It doesn't care if the power's on or off. If you feed it, it'll keep working. And it does quite a nice job. I do have to clean this stack. That's creosote. It works. They don't control it. This is what I have for hauling. Titled as a 73 Chevy, you know. It's definitely not the right bed. Let's get in. Yeah, it's ratty. It doesn't have heated seats. Doesn't have a backup mirror. It's on the second engine since we've had it. The engine that this thing came with. I mean, this is 5 different trucks. We had to do a lot of work just to have it together in the first place. Had it a long time though, and it's always worked well. It's on the second engine. Progress. Yay. More people building shit. The original engine was freaking wore out when we got it. But that held up for quite a while. And this is a used engine. Still in good shape though. Works great. Rides like hell. You know, unless you get a load in it. Gets about 8 miles to the gallon. Not built for economy or handling, or really even to be comfortable. It's built to be a friggin' truck. It's just a cheap ass, simple friggin' thing that does the job. I own it. It's road legal. They don't control it. That's my house. I'm the eyesore on the mountain. I didn't even buy this house. My dad bought this house. He died. It ended up mine. I'm lucky. I own a house. I'm not paying anything on it. And there's Cheddar. Meow. I don't know how many people really own a house anymore. I build onto it as I see fit. What are you yelling at? Meow! Meow! He's my buddy. I don't go through zoning. I don't get permits. Screw that. It's mine. It looks like shit. I'm definitely the eyesore up here on the mountain. I own it. They don't control it. That's Lulu Bell. It's a 67 case 580. I don't know if it's a CK or just a 580 or a 580C. I don't know. Got this for heavy lifting, digging, pushing, pulling. Instead of breaking our backs, Lulu comes to the rescue. Compared to a new tractor, costs about, holy crap, I don't know, it costs like a 20th of what a new tractor cost, especially with the hoe and the loader. You know, I don't know. I see Mahindra's is pretty, you know, you got a front end loader and a box blade in the rear, and I don't know, 30, 40 grand. This was $3 grand. Showed up. I bought it based on some pictures from New York. And I got kind of lucky. It showed up as a running, driving, operating machine. Needed work, of course. And, you know, it's been run friggin' hard. I've put it to work. I made a couple of bucks with it. Decided that ain't for me because, you know, I'm no veteran. I operated before, but, you know, it was all right, I guess. But that was a long time ago, and I don't like to run this thing full bore. I like to take my time, and it's an old machine. It's rough around the edges. It's loose. It has idiosyncrasies. When you want to travel in a straight line, you are constantly turning to the right on the steering wheel. It doesn't have a steering column. When you turn the wheel, you're turning a hydraulic pump and some valves and la-di-da and steer cylinders and this and that. So the steering's weird. Sometimes the brakes are a little funny. I did the brakes on it, but they're still a little funny sometimes. Runs great. Does everything I need. It doesn't owe me a damn thing. It's mine. They don't control it. This is another thing I have for pushing snow. Sometimes recovering a vehicle. Sometimes pushing a little pile of dirt. That's under the skin. It's a 71 International Harvester Scout 800B. The body's from a 67 800 Scout. Mostly it plows snow. You know, ain't perfect. Has a good heater. Has lights. Has what you need. Radio might be nice, but you know, sometimes I think that's just another distraction. Especially when you're plowing, you don't really want to be distracted. I don't know. I might put a radio in it. Yeah, hell, 71. The thing's over 50 years old. Still the original engine and transmission, and a lot of original stuff left on it, except the body. You could hear those rotting away on a quiet night, I guess. That's what that's what my dad used to say about them. A lot of people were pissed when they bought these things new and they were rotting away. That doesn't see salt, so, you know, it ain't road legal. But there's plenty of times it opens up this freaking road. And you can't see, but maybe a 1/16 of this road right now. It goes, I don't know, maybe let's say a mile that way. Another half mile down that way. Sometimes it's that thing that does this entire thing. Even though there's, you know, 50 other permanent residents up here. It's mine. I own it. They don't control it. Maybe you remember the 92 Passat wagon that I had here. I was having trouble with the fuel system on. Well, that's gone. Some maniac actually bought it. Drove it from Pennsylvania to Minnesota. You know, we had it running well enough that you could do that. It still wasn't right. And I'm damned. That's the original clutch on that thing. And that was a really convoluted, devious Kraut mechanism. So here's our new car. Yeah, that's a Mark II, ain't it? Give me a sec. Pop the hood. Nothing there but an engine. That engine's been rebuilt. I mean, people say that, but I believe the kid. It does run pretty well. Body ain't bad. Got a little right there that I got to deal with. You know, there's... I bought it as a stalled project. I knew what I was getting into, you know. You got somebody else's stalled project, you're going to get into shit. Kid sold it for $1,500. It wouldn't even yard drive. It would barely run. Look at that garbage. You know what the I don't think it was I hope it wasn't the kid that rebuilt the engine. He says no, this was not him. But this is the stupidest freaking radio you ever want. And you know, there's stuff going on. I just got it about a week ago. It was on Facebook Marketplace. $2,000. I don't know, the 4-door Jetta ain't gonna bring as much as a Golf or a Rabbit. I don't need a Golf or a Rabbit. I need 4 doors. I gotta pack kids and stuff and this and that. A 4-door hatchback would have been cool, but again, everybody wants the hatchback. It's got the typical Volkswagen door handle delete mod. The electrical system is not all there, but it's mostly there. Let's try it again. The glow plug light ain't working. I'm not sure the glow plug relay's working either. A little cantankerous starting up right now. That's not oil. Well, it's not engine oil. Timing belt's definitely too tight. I gotta back that off. I'm thinking I want to advance that injection pump too. Might bring it around a little bit. I don't know if you can hear the kind of little stutter right now, but if you pull this advance, that's timing advance on your pump for cold starts. Kind of comes around a little bit. Wipers don't work. Most of the other stuff does. It needs some electrical la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-da. It came on coilovers, and I hate those friggin' things. I wound them up as far as they'll go, and it rides pretty rough. Thing is, you know, it showed up as something that wouldn't drive, barely runs, and I don't know, 10 hours. I got a vehicle that runs and drives, and even stops. I'm not done yet. It'll clean up pretty nice. Kid trailered it from about 2 hours south of me. He was going to do it for free. I said, no, dude. I took care of him. Took care of him at $1 a mile both ways. I figure that's fair. I don't know. I'm happy. I'm real happy with it. So far, it's just been a joy to work on. It's been amazing. It takes me back 30 years. It's so simple. My wife owns this. They don't control it. I'm kind of losing my mind or something, man. You don't own cars anymore. You don't own your house anymore. You don't own your television, your appliances anymore. All that stuff is leased. Everything's on credit. Everything. And you got to have the newest and flashiest and cleanest and all trying to put up some facade of wealth and success, and it's all people can do to get up in the morning or afternoon or night, whichever shift they they're on, going to work and grind and try to keep up with those payments. And you don't have to. You're signing a 5-year lease for something new or relatively modern, used, pre-owned. The new thing, yeah, you know, you probably get a good 10 years out of it, especially if it's maintained, but man, they're getting tough to maintain. The pre-owned thing, who knows, will it last the life of the lease, or the loan, or the whatever the hell you sign? I don't know credit things. But you borrow money, and you don't own shit. And, sure, I could, as bullshit as this place is, yes, I absolutely could put it up and probably get a loan for, I don't know. I'm sure I could get a loan for something at least fairly modern. I do not want that. I don't own that. The bank does. They control it. You're going to sign papers for a loan. My God, some of these vehicles, some of these vehicles, you know, you're talking 60 grand for a base model. $60,000 US dollars. Monopoly money. You're going to sign up and pay off $60,000. And how long is that going to take you to do? That vehicle's going to be in the junkyard years before you pay it off. So what do you do? I don't know. Do you roll the loan over to your next vehicle? I don't know how this works, but there's no way anything built today is lasting 10 years without really starting to nickel and dime you. It's on purpose. It's intentional. It's absolutely deliberate. They do not want you working on your own shit anymore. They don't want it. They don't want you owning your own shit anymore. All right, 60 grand. Fine. You're going to take a loan? And I'm not even saying you have to drive bullshit like this. Or like that. Or like that friggin' tractor. Or that frickin' thing. You can get some fairly nice shit. Take your loan if you want. If that's what you gotta do, take your loan. One of these. Mint. It's like 5 grand. Ready to go down the road. It'll drive you to California and back. Especially these diesels. Holy crap, do they run forever. They're not fast. Don't be in a hurry with a diesel. Like 50 miles to the gallon. If you need to. You can burn engine oil. You can dump straight used engine oil. I wouldn't suggest it. You know, filter it or whatever you do. You can dump it in the freaking tank and it will run. $5 grand. You got a car for the rest of your life. They don't like that. You got a car that you can easily work on. They don't like that. One of them, old square body, you can get a fairly decent example, 10 grand. It's gonna need some doing, but 10 grand, it'll drive you home. Those are starting to actually get, you know, sort of valuable. Mine, that thing's priceless to me. It's, that's the last thing my father and I built. The four-wheel drive, the this and that, I don't know, but just start looking at 85 and earlier. Well, 86 in that case. Put your money into that. Friggin' old plow truck, you know. You want a plow truck? Say $3 grand. You'll probably have something all right. I lost track a long time ago what we put into that thing. Mostly time. Not a lot of money. Mostly time. And there, time. And there, time. And that thing, time. You don't have to be driving shit that, you know, looks like it came right out of the Congo or friggin' Cuba or something like that. I'm just broke, you know, so I get what I can afford. I live within my means. I sold that wagon for $2,700. Got this with money to spare. Most of it's going right back into this thing. There's an agenda, and you're not going to convince me different. The elite want absolute control over every single aspect of your life. And when they have mobility locked down, it's a big win for them. Mobility is huge. Berlin Wall, you know, at limited mobility. The regular people inside the Berlin Wall, basically prisoners. How long did they have to wait just to get one of them Trabant scamps, little two-cylinder, two-stroke, I don't know, friggin' 20, 30 horsepower, something miserable? I don't know, 10 years, I think. Forget a Lotta, you know, something that at least resembles a real car. They had to wait 10 years to get an air-cooled, two-cylinder, two-stroke, made out of resin and some kind of cardboard crap for the body panels. Just the cheapest freaking thing you could possibly get. I'd love to have one because, damn, they're cool looking and they're dead simple. But that's a mobility thing. In East Germany, Russia, the elites controlled mobility. They controlled every aspect. They controlled your food. They controlled your heat. They controlled your electric. They controlled every damn thing. That dude. Yeah. I know him. He's going to be paying on that thing when that's gone. My stuff is all junk. It's all worn out and clapped out. Except for that thing, man. That thing is... Oh. Nah, I don't know about worn out and clapped out, but that tractor's had a pretty hard life. But the shit is all mine. I'm the one that says. Except for that one. You don't have to have bullshit. You don't have to have junk. But I tell you what, I like working on the junk a lot better. Self-driving feature. You know, Teslas, the autopilot. the feature. Is that a beta test for the self-driving mandate? They can remotely enable shit. They can remotely disable shit. Even if you manage to pay off that Tesla, you don't own it. If they can remotely turn shit on and off on that car, it's not yours. There's an agenda. It's control. It's control, control. When you sign that lease for a brand new flashy frickin' thing, you're playing right into it. Am I nuts? If I'm nuts, please, my God, tell me. I don't know. I just turn wrenches. I burn leaves. I push shit. I smash shit.
I lift things up and put them down.
I don't know things. This guy don't care. It's Mr. Balls. Look at the balls on that guy. He's got some balls. Jesus Christ, frickin' balls, cat. I don't know a damn thing about the state of the politics and the economy and this and that. I don't know it. I do know that some stupid shit like a fan belt is starting to cost a lot more than I would expect. He doesn't care. I talked to a guy who really is in the know about stuff. And inflation. If you want to look at something, look at Zimbabwe currency. He gave me one of their banknotes, and it's something stupid like $4 billion or $400 billion, I forget. Like the material that this thing was printed on, it actually devalued the material it's printed on when they printed that banknote. And that's what's he's saying is starting to happen here. Well, or has been happening for a long time. I don't know. Kid that sold me this said, you know, you could clean it up, get it, everything taken care of, and turn it over for $6,000. I don't know that a 4-door could ever bring $6,000 unless it's, you know, fully optioned or something like that. I don't know. I'm not interested though. This means so much more than money. This is reliable and simple transportation. I've had this whole frickin' nonsense on my mind for quite a while now, and I don't know how to spit this out, and I hope I'm, well, you know, if I'm sounding completely batshit, then, you know, whatever. But this is what I'm thinking. It's what I'm feeling. It's what I am observing. They don't want you to own shit. They don't want you to repair shit. They don't want you to control shit. This mountain's starting to get built up. We have things like trash disposal and rodent control, terminix. People that want to come to the woods, and they want to live in the woods, but they want it to be convenient. Living in the woods is great, but it's not actually convenient. Not exactly convenient. If you need firewood, buddy, right there it is. You know, you go walking anywhere and you'll find firewood. A lot of people up here burn oil, electric, propane. I'm still going to burn coal, much as I can. But man, even coal's getting out of sight. And I don't know, 5 years ago maybe it was like 150 a ton. And now it's gotten up over, I don't know, something 300 a ton now. Getting to where I can't afford coal. But I got time. I can go out and cut firewood. And right now in the fall, it's a beautiful time to do it. Ain't too hot, ain't too cold. Keep warm swinging that axe. Well, the mall. Mountain's getting built up. We're getting people from Jersey, Philly, New York. Absolute. Never been out of the city types. But they want that cozy little cabin up in the mountains. And they want to look at the beautiful fall foliage. Which honestly, all that means to me is I got to rake and burn leaves. Which I don't mind. Snow? Oh, I love the snow. I love plowing. Man, I love plowing. I'm not under any contract to plow this road out here ever. I just do it because I love it. I don't even get paid for it. There's a contractor that takes care of that. And most times he shows up around 3 in the afternoon. Pushes around some nothing because I've already plowed. One of the neighbors up the hill has already plowed. But he skates with the money. There was a time on this mountain when the residents would have road days. They'd get together. They'd work on the road. They'd clear ditches. They'd fill the potholes and ruts. You know, a couple guys, it was all, you know, whole bunch of coolers and beer showing up. Somebody would light up a fire and start cooking stuff. Nobody had to work too hard. You know, and it was mostly a party and a social thing. Probably more talking than raking and shoveling. But the shit got done. And it got done by themselves. You know, and they controlled that. The residents controlled the road. When I first moved up here, and for, you know, say 10 years after, about 5 of us guys with plows would go out and we would plow the main road and we would plow all the little side roads. We had this whole mountain handled. We'd actually get paid for it too, you know. Not a whole lot, but we'd get something for our time. Get something to take care of our gasoline and you know, maybe if we broke something, probably take care of that too. You weren't getting rich off it. You had to kind of like it. All those guys maintaining the road and the ditches and doing the plowing all had jobs. Just like everybody up here now. But now the ditches, the potholes, the ruts, the plowing, it's all me, my wife, maybe 1 or 2 people. The plowing, it's me, my wife, maybe the neighbor up the hill that has a Kubota. I got a little Kubota side-by-side thing. That thing was money. I'm sure it was every bit of 40 grand. I don't know. 30? I don't know. Well, he's got the bolt-on mat tracks for it, so it was money. Holy crap. There's plenty of people up here that could. They just don't want to. Oh, I don't have the time. I got to work and this and that. Well, so does everybody else that's doing it. The guy with the Kubota, he's real money. He owns that Kubota. He owns his house. He owns a wicked ham radio setup. He did some money jobs. He used to work on slot machines. He used to, I don't even remember. But he did money jobs. He owns all his shit. God bless him. He worked for it. He still has a job. He still gets out and plows. No reason we can't take care of this whole road. But that's self-reliance. They don't like that. Self-reliance is to be weeded out. Self-reliance goes against the agenda. That does not lend itself to control for the elite. You had enough? Are you one of them that grinds to keep up with payments? Get rid of that shit. You don't need that shit. Drag something out of the woods. That Jetta that I showed you, that was all easy stuff, man. Anyone that can read any kind of book, don't get Haynes. Haynes manuals are shit. Pick your YouTube videos with a grain of salt. But everything I've done on that Jetta so far was easy shit. And you got a vehicle. Dirt cheap. About 10 hours. I don't know what to say exactly, but start doing for your own. Learn shit. Everything is bullshit anymore. And I think this is just the beginning. Nobody knows. Nobody has answers. Nobody can do stuff. But when you're gonna try to call into Verizon, your cable provider, your satellite provider, your bank, your utility company, electric or gas or water, whatever, they're gonna keep you on hold for a long freaking time. Just to talk with that guy that has no answers, and that's not his department, and he can't really help you, but he can transfer you to someone else, and you're going to sit there on hold. And the next guy that picks up is going to be the same story. He's not going to know. It's not going to be his department. Can't help. There's a good book called Back to Basics. It's kind of homesteading advice, Good book. It'll take you from a bare spot of land to pretty much a functional house. It'll show you how to dig a well. It'll show you food preservation. It'll, you know, I'm not talking prepper doomsday shit. Because that's what a lot of these Jersey and New York and Philly guys were also thinking when they moved out here. Oh, I'm going to bug out to the woods. Well, you're useless out here. You're nothing but a burden out here if shit really hits the fan. Holy crap, I don't even know where I'm going anymore, but this video is getting awfully long. And here's another one. It's India calling. 10 times a day, 20 times a day. Call ID spoofing, you know. I actually had one show up. Holy guacamole. And it's always some crap about senior care or something, something, something. Give me your bank account numbers. That's all it ever is. There's an agenda. Keep people confused and tired and scared. Keep them tripping up. Keep them divided. You know, we got electric vehicle guys versus internal combustion guys. We got Ford versus Dodge versus Chevy guys. We got pro-life versus pro-choice. Pro-gun versus pro-gun control. Republican versus Democrat. Straight versus homo versus the letters guys. The homosexual, and you can't even get two Republicans in the room for half an hour without them coming to blows, arguing. You know, nobody can see any common ground with anyone else. And it's well orchestrated, and it's in play. Keep people tired. Keep people from coming together. Think of a prison. You got the whites, the blacks, the Asians, the Latinos. The warden doesn't exactly want them killing each other, but he doesn't want them coming together. Am I full of shit? I don't honestly think so. I think they're, I don't know. I don't know. You had enough? You want to rebel? Cheddar's had enough. Never got enough pets, so. You want to rebel? It doesn't have to be Molotov cocktails. Drag that old shit out of the woods. Put some time and money into that. Own it. It's yours. Build some stupid shit. That's yours. You don't owe anybody anything. It's in your name. You want to rebel? Start doing that. Get the old shit. Quit putting money back into the elite's pockets. Quit giving the elite control. 1986 or earlier. If you want the Wi-Fi hotspot, you want the heated seats, you want the this and that, bells and whistles, you can wire all that shit in. You can wire anything you want into that Jetta or that old C series. That friggin' thing. You can wire that bullshit in. But you won't have a $5,000 repair bill over a water-soaked tail light. You won't have engineers injecting a code into a sensor or a module that tells it when to fail. Tell me they can't. Tell me they might not already be doing that. I'm convinced. I know they can. And I'm pretty sure they are. They don't want that thing to last. They want you to get about 5-10 years out of it. And then it starts throwing errors at you. Or maybe they just decide to stop supporting the software that makes that vehicle or whatever item function. And then there you are. Trade it in on a new one. Sign a new lease. Everybody gets credit. You see something like that back in the woods? Something like that? Some bullshit like that? If you got anywhere to jam it, hoard that stuff. That's what I'm doing anyhow. This is way more than long enough, ain't it? I might be totally insane, but I figure you probably get my idea by now, right? When you go back in the woods on those old things, don't just throw a hot battery at them and fill them full of brake clean. Pull the spark plugs, oil the cylinders, roll it over gently by hand. Like, you know, you got a beautiful woman sleeping in bed next to you. You don't just smack the shit out of her and tell her to get the fuck out of bed. You do it gently. Maybe you give her a little foot massage. Bring her some coffee and French toast. Wake her up real slow and easy. Those guys that just throw a hot battery and brake cleaner or ether at them and just can't wait to get out and do donuts and burnouts and shit. Well, they're selling that thing off as a, quote, running and driving vehicle, and yeah, it is. But the way they woke it up, they surely damaged that engine, and it ain't gonna last long. If you need parts. Oh, God. You know what? I got to while I'm thinking about it, and I'm sorry. We used to build shit here. We were an industrial goddamn something huge. We were huge. We had a huge industry. A lot of those factories are gone. Some of them are still there, maybe as call centers or something. I don't know. Maybe that's mostly India. Anyways, we used to build shit. My dad worked at Dana. I'm sure you've heard of Dana. Spicer, you know, axles, drivetrain components, springs. Early mid 80s. Early to mid 80s, I guess, maybe earlier, I don't know, something. That stuff started going to Mexico. All the machines, you know, and they were offering people, you know, oh, you guys want to take a trip to Mexico, take a free vacation? Well, they're down there training their replacements, you know? So everything went from U.S. to Mexico because it was cheaper. Then it went from Mexico to China because it was cheaper. Probably still the same clapped out old machinery. Because China's cheaper. They don't pay their workers shit. They don't give a damn about health and safety. Well, now it's going to India. Do you know much about India build quality? We used to be lucky to find stuff made in the U.S. or find stuff made somewhere decent. Germany, Japan, France. And about 5 years ago, I said, I'm not dealing with China. I'll take Mexico. Mexico's fine. Mexico's good. You know, for mission critical stuff. Wheel bearings, tie rod ends, brake pads. It's starting to get where I'm lucky to be able to find China. There's literally automotive components going down the road from India. Because India's cheap. Because India doesn't give a damn about its human workers. They're running equipment over there in India, and it's the same old clapped out bullshit that got shipped over from China, that got shipped from Mexico, that got shipped from the U.S. And by this time, this stuff is really old. It used to be, a lot of it used to be automated at some point, but hell, human life is so cheap over there. The automation breaks down, they just have a person be the automated part. And they got about 5 guys supervising one guy. And they got a whole bunch of call centers bugging me all damn day. You want parts? Go raid the junkyard for old OEM shit. Because I trust that a whole lot more than India. It might be worn, but I know it was made decently with decent materials. I'll sooner trust that stuff. This is a really long goddamn video. No one's going to make it through this. But if you have, you know, this is my message. This is what I'm feeling. No idea what's going to be happening in 20 years from now. Back to blue. I remember police that were there to serve and protect. And of course, there was also police that were there to be assholes. But I think there were a lot more police that used to carry a revolver and a sense of duty and generally outweighed the assholes. Now, I think it's a conundrum. There cannot be any good cops. There are no good cops anymore. There can't be. The blue code. You don't rat on another cop. Maybe there's a cop that starts out and he's a good guy and he really wants to help people and he really wants to do good things with his life and make people's lives better and try to help. But he's going to see another cop do something fucked up. If he rats, he gets shit canned, maybe murdered, maybe killed in the line of action. Murdered. Somehow, he becomes not a cop anymore. So he's not a good cop anymore. He tried to be, but he's not a cop anymore. He's still a good person, but he's not a cop. He's not a good cop. He keeps his mouth shut about seeing another cop driving drunk, doing something filthy, getting a blowjob from some lady that wants to get out of a speeding ticket, using excessive force, misquoting the law, lying, whatever. He doesn't say something about it. He becomes just as filthy as that other cop. He's no longer a good cop. There cannot be any good cops anymore. There are no good cops anymore. All cops are bastards. And you're going to say, oh no, I know plenty of good cops. Maybe you do. Maybe you know cops that are good to you. Black privilege. We don't have that out here. There's no black people. So what they do, they look for scumbags driving old shit like that thing, and then they get a big old justice boner and they gotta pull it over for some freaking reason or other because they know there's something going on with that vehicle or the driver or this and that. That's how they get their kicks, because control. And honestly, I think cops are not educated. They don't know the law. By the time you get pulled over, it is what the cop says it is. Go ahead and argue with a drunk. It's about the same thing. Oh, well, if you don't like it, you can have your day in court. Well, yeah, you can go to court and you can roll the dice of justice. The dice of justice. Those dice are loaded with money. Whoever has more money wins. The township, the state, the federation, whatever, they got more money than you. I'll give you a little story. A friend of mine, he goes into town. He wants to go to the laundromat. He's kind of out in the boonies. He doesn't have the real setup yet. You don't want to be a complete friggin' scumbag. So he wants to go and wash his clothes. The dude just wants to wash his clothes. And some frickin' nitwit decides he wants to be big man and fight him for some frickin' reason. This dude is just trying to wash his clothes. I'd give the name and the township and everything. I don't want to. Take my word for it. My friend tells the guy, back off, just leave me alone. You know, I'm trying to wash my clothes. Leave me alone. The guy keeps on it. Won't let up. And this guy starts hitting my friend. And this guy is now assaulting my friend. 2 or 3 times he freaking swats him. And my friend is still saying, leave me alone. I don't want this, you don't want this, la-di freaking da. Trying to wash my clothes. Dude keeps on. Finally, my friend had enough. 1 shot. Bang. He's out. He's on the floor, bleeding. He ain't moving. This guy's a certified freaking maniac when he has to be. But I've never met a more straight up and honest and truthful freaking fella in my life. Hands down. He's one of those people that really has no filter. Some people brag about having no filter. This guy has no filter. He gives him 1 freaking shot, puts him down. This guy's jaw is now wired shut. He's got staples in his head. Probably from hitting the ground. I don't know. He hung out. My friend hangs out like 15 minutes. Somebody calls 911. The whole thing's on video. Cops are charging him with assault. I guess they're charging the other guy too, I don't know. But they're charging him with assault for defending himself, for relying on himself, for not waiting for the police to show up when he's battered, possibly murdered, dead. Control. The cops know damn well what happened. The detective on the case calls my friend in. I said, don't say shit, don't say nothing. Lawyer, lawyer, lawyer. That's all you say. This guy's straight up, though, and he wants to get his piece. All right, man. Be careful. Good luck. The detective says, I watched the video. Oh, you got nothing to worry about. La-di-la-di-da. The guy goes home feeling like a huge weight's been lifted on his off his chest, his shoulders, whatever. And about a week later, he gets notified that he's getting charged. I could see failure to assist or whatever the hell, you know, he did leave, but then again, why should he have to hang out when 911's been called? La 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 la. It's all there what happened on video. They don't need his side of the story. They want him to get in there and admit that he punched the dude so they can charge him with assault. Failure to render assistance, I think it's called. I could see that. But why? One of the witnesses, you know, when this guy's getting up, when my friend's getting up to leave, ain't you gonna help him? He's like, no, fuck that dude. He did this himself. Fuck yeah. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Oh, God. Good luck. God bless. Don't let the bastards get you down. Fuck that new shit. You don't need it. Fuck the loan. You don't need it. Ride a bicycle. Drive a lawn tractor. You don't need the shit. Quit being spoiled. You don't need the new phone. You don't need the new flat screen. You don't need the new. Nobody gives a fuck if you're flashy and clean. They don't give a fuck. If you're flashy and clean, all that does is make them feel like they have to be flashy and clean. If you got the money, you don't have to sign a loan. If that's your freaking gig, go for it. But honestly, if I had stupid money, I'd rather take that freaking stripped goddamn nothing and totally restore it to factory if I had stupid money. That one. I wouldn't do the pickup because I like it that way. That's how my dad left it to me. And honestly, I probably wouldn't mind the electric vehicle. If I could just plug it in, run it to town and back, it's a very basic thing. I probably wouldn't mind that. Probably be cheap. Yeah. Anyways, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Later.